Wander Wealthy Podcast, episode 151. Hello, my friends. Welcome back to another episode of the Wander Wealthy Podcast. My name is Tess. I'm the host, and this is a show for online service-based entrepreneurs looking to take their finances seriously and start building a sustainable and healthy business that is also profitable. Today is a solo show, and I'm going to be talking about a topic that I think is going to be a shock. I mean, you could probably already tell by the name, and it is kind of a long name. I apologize. But we're really going to be talking about an even more broad topic than I think, what I've named this episode. The name of this episode is about how that online course that you're about to purchase, or maybe even one that you're about to launch for your business, is not going to make you more money until you do this first. And this whole, quote, if you want to call it a quote, I want you to know that you can apply this to so much more than making money in your business. The work that I do is I end up working with a lot of individuals, both who are traditionally employed as well as those who have side hustles or they're fully employed under their businesses. And what ends up happening is we're looking at the finance piece of their business. And technically speaking, when we look at the numbers and we do the math, we can all understand the math of what we're doing wrong when it comes to the cash flow in our business, in our lives. Maybe we're overspending, we're living above our means, and that's what's causing debt, or that's what's causing us to not be able to save. Maybe in your business, you're not able to be profitable or pay yourself. And there's situations that just continue to perpetuate into a downward spiral. Now, I did a live online training last week all about how to solve the 5 biggest money problems without money. And really the entire premise of that training was to help you identify that most of your problems, whether they be in business or your personal life, when it comes to money, as well as a lot of other things, because mindset work can apply to not only money, but also your life, your relationships, your career, your business, and non-money related business activities, as well as your health and your well-being. So we have a lot of problems in our lives that, it's natural to have those and we can expect them. But so many of our problems have actually nothing to do with the lack of money, or with not having the right budget, or with not having the right, type of course that you're trying to sell, or not having the right audience. So much more, it's actually an internal problem, a mindset problem, the way that we think and feel about our situations that then get perpetuated in kind of a negative way into all the areas where we would consider problem areas of our lives. So if business isn't going as planned, if you're not making enough money, oftentimes we think that, it's the online course that I created that's not hitting, the nail on the head, or I don't have the right market, or I don't have the right marketing system, or I'm not spending enough money on ads, or whatever that looks like. If you have a budgeting problem, you're either in debt and your debt is continuing to grow, or you are not able to save enough or invest for your future, maybe even not making enough money, but we'll keep that on the business side. If you have a cash flow problem in your personal life, a lot of times we think, well, it's because I don't have the right budget, or because I'm not making enough money, or because I just can't figure out my debt. And we think it's an external thing, when in reality, it has to do with the way that we think and feel about the situation at hand. And all these external resources, the online courses, hiring the coach, getting the best budgeting app, finding or creating that course that could blow up. But the reason why it doesn't, the reason why these things don't end up working, is because we aren't ready to allow them to work for us. And that sounds kind of woo-woo, but the truth of the matter is, internally, we don't have the appropriate thoughts that lead to the appropriate feelings to accept those external resources and make them easy and flow through our lives, to be able to apply them to our lives and go, I can be good at this. I can be good at making money. Making money can be easy for me. I just need to approach this with the right attitude, the right thoughts, and allow this continued work to flow and to be easy. There's so many ways that we can go with this episode, but I think what is really important to note is that everyone has what it takes to achieve their goals. If your goal is a great example is lose weight. There's so many diets out in the world and so many workout regimens. And I'm going to tell you something. Every single diet out there, every single workout regimen out there, whether they're like healthy or not, because there's definitely a lot of unhealthy diet programs out there and I'm not a fan of them, but I will tell you, they all work. Every single program that you see available on the internet or you see on TV, you see there's testimonials, there are results. People get results from these programs, but you or someone might be trying this program, it doesn't work for them, so they go out and they find a new one. And this is something that we do not only with diet programs, but we do it with business ideas, we do it with budgeting apps, we do it with all these different things. And all of these things, let it be known, they are all external resources. But in reality, every single one of these quote unquote solutions, they all work. People do get results with them. And so I think that leads us, when we're not getting the results with one of these external resources, it leads us into this downward spiral of, well, it just must be me then. I'm the problem, and I'm never going to be good at this. I'm never going to be good at working out and getting fit and getting healthy. I'm never going to be good at managing my money. I'm never going to be good at business. And we have that self-talk, and that self-talk actually just creates it puts us in an even more negative state, but then it also creates the results that perpetuate the reality of a downward negative spiral. And the thing is, again, going back to this, all of these external resources, all of these solutions that are out there that you can buy into or you can commit to, they all work. But the problem that most people have is they don't have the appropriate mindset around being fully committed and dedicating to making these things work for them. We think that all of these things, they need to be the Band-Aid that create ease for us, but we are the person that has to create the ease to then allow one of these external things to work for us. So that is kind of the first message I want to share. But I also want to expand on this and go one step further and really talk about something that I've been seeing a lot with many of my clients, as well as many of my audience members and, my community of people online, and even some of my peers, especially in business, where we believe that the next course that we buy, or the next coach that we hire, or the next even course that we create, the next business idea that we have, and then we put all this energy and effort behind it and launch it, those things are going to have the solution for us. Those things are going to have all the answers. They're going to be the magic pill that we take that then turns us into a success story. And of course, thinking just in terms of business, just in terms of investing in other courses or other coaches, all of those things, even myself as a coach, I have testimonials. I have results that I share of my clients who get amazing results. Other courses out there in the world, on the internet, you see the testimonials, you see the amazing results. But when you invest in them, and again, I'm talking about this because I know it's true, because it has personally happened in my life. It happens in my peers' lives, and I see it happening with my clients. They continue to invest in external resources and all these different courses and, the free downloads, which, let's be honest, we don't take those as seriously as the ones that we put our money into. But in the courses, in the coaches, in the external resources that are available to us, we continue to think that they hold the secret. They hold what it's going to take for success, but then we invest in them and then we don't see the results that we're looking for. And yes, you see, the marketing of that course, you see the testimonials, you see the results of other people who have taken that course, but we wonder, well, why me? I just must not be good at this stuff. And I want to help you reframe the way that you are approaching and thinking about all of these external solutions. So again, going back to this, whether it's in your personal life and you're dealing with personal financial problems, or you're dealing with your business and trying to take your business from, no income to some income, or from some income to becoming your full-time gig where it can sustain you and pay you a healthy salary, or even from being a sustainable gig to building, whether it's an empire or just a small company that can hire and take on more employees, or whatever that looks like for you. But when you're in here and you're trying to reach those goals and you're looking at these external resources to hold the solution and the secret, yes, they might have information. But again, if we don't do the work on ourselves to be ready to fully commit to these coaches that we're going to hire, or to the program that we're signing up for, or to even the free download that you downloaded and probably ended up shuffling into some random folder on your desktop, if we don't instead decide, no, I'm going to show up fully and I'm going to take every single thing that this coach or this online educator is teaching me and I'm going to fully implement it, we often fall short. And so we need to identify what, especially if you are the person with the awareness of going, yes, this is me. I buy all these courses. I think that all these external resources are going to hold the secret, going to have the solution. We need to identify, okay, is that you? And really start identifying, where are you coming from? What state are you in when you pull the trigger and purchase some of these things? What problem are you trying to solve? And I want you to really get, if you have to take out a pen and paper and do some journaling, I want you to get really aware and really open about, what do I think about my current circumstances? What are the actual thoughts I have about where my business is today? And how do I feel about the goals that I'm setting for myself? And am I thinking, having the thoughts and feeling the feelings of the person who has already achieved my goals? Or am I letting my current circumstances, so as an example, maybe your business isn't making any money, or the products or the services that you're launching, you're not seeing any sales. Are you letting that determine how you think and you feel? Because if you let your current circumstances, which typically our current circumstances, if we have goals, like, we want them to change because we want them to reach the circumstances of where they would be once we've achieved our goals, right? So typically we don't want our current circumstances because we want something more. And by the way, this gets back to what I mentioned in the 12 Days of Money Mindset series. You can be grateful for your current circumstances. You should be grateful for your current circumstances and still want to change, still want to reach for more. So remember that. I'm not saying look at them and go, I don't want this, but look at them and go, I need to be a different person in order to change where I am currently and reach my goals. So many of us aren't willing to change the way that we think and the way that we feel about our current circumstances, but think one of these external resources out there is what's going to make us change. But if you understand the cognitive behavioral psychology model, if you understand the neurolinguistic programming model of the brain and how we interpret information and thus how that leads to our behaviors, you know that your circumstances, those are facts. You choose how you think about those facts. Your thoughts that you think that you're choosing how to think about, they create certain emotions, certain feelings, and you only take specific behaviors as it relates to your state, the way that you feel. And so if you're trying to take certain behaviors by applying this Band-Aid of, this budgeting app is going to be the solution, that next course, that's going to have the secret sauce, but you're not willing to change the way that you think and feel, then of course these solutions aren't going to work. You're always going to go back to, nothing. When you force those actions to happen without changing the way you think and you feel, there's no stickiness there. That Band-Aid, that external solution isn't going to stick, and it's going to perpetuate the same circumstances and situation, or maybe even a worse circumstance and situation that leads you to have potentially more negative thoughts. Okay, and we're going to take this even one step further because I think this is going to really hit it home in terms of you starting to identify your behavior. And I want to provide you with a way that you can start identifying your thoughts, identifying your feelings, and also find new alternative solutions to how you're currently acting. So right now, we're looking at our circumstances and we're having certain thoughts and feelings about it, and we think the solution is to go out and buy that course, go out and find those resources. And I need to add, because this probably sounds like super counterintuitive for someone who is a coach. Like, that is my business, is to, bring you on and work with you in some intimate programs, in group coaching or one-on-one coaching, or I have various courses that do hold the solutions. And, as someone who has that and wants you to purchase my stuff so I can work with you and help you get that transformation that you're looking for, I can say these things work. As a coach, I put these packages together because I know they work. They've worked with previous clients. They work with me. They've worked with my peers. And I know that they can work with you. But the reason I've gotten into all of this money mindset work is because I know that if we don't work on your mindset first, then those patches, those external resources that I know work, like I can get you on the best budget, I can get you hooked up with the best, most user-friendly banks and investment accounts and all that jazz. But if you don't change the way that you're thinking and feeling about your current circumstances and start acting as if you have better circumstances, even though despite that, the facts, the reality might not be there yet. If you're not willing to change the way you think and feel, then these external solutions, they're not going to stick. And so I see that time and time again with some of my clients. And then I go, okay, we got to back up. We got to work on the mind. And so for those of you who are out there, who are finding yourselves trying to numb the pain, trying to fill the void of not being happy with your current circumstances, but allowing those thoughts to kind of stay there. And then what you're actually doing, what is technically happening, is you're reverting to your subconscious mind, and your subconscious mind is going, I don't like this. This is not safe for my person. This is not a comfortable place for my person to be in. We need pleasure. We need it immediately. We need the path of least resistance to get to pleasure. We need it fast, and we need to cure and provide relief to this feeling that is perpetuated from the thoughts you're having about your circumstances. So what do? You go out and you find that next best course, or you buy that book on Amazon that you're going to read. It's probably and most likely 100% a self-help book or a business development book, right? Or you go and you spend money, even just aimlessly, which, at the beginning, you get that immediate dopamine hit. You get instant gratification of going out and spending money and going, there, I'm on the path now. I've started the path to bettering my situation. And then we don't have the motivation to allow those external resources to actually stick because we haven't worked on the root of the problem. So there's a lot that you can do here, and there's a lot of one-on-one coaching and small group private coaching work that I have available. I just opened access to a group coaching program that I am hosting, all focused on money mindset in 2020, and it is available. You can actually get in, and you can get in before January 20th. We kick things off on the 21st. So if you want to get in, go to wanderwealthy.com/MMB. It's short for Money Mindset Breakthrough. So wanderwealthy.com/MMB. I will link it in the show notes as well as in the description of this podcast episode. But do know you have to act fast, because when this episode goes live, those doors are going to close. I think it's the following Monday, so on January 20th. So make sure that you apply and register for an intake call before then. And if you don't want to do the intake call and you just want to sign up, you can do that too. Send me an email, tess@wanderwealthy.com. But there's opportunities here to really work on those thoughts and really start changing the way that we believe our life has to go, changing the way that we think about our current circumstances or even our past, changing the paradigms that we have decided to subscribe to, like making money has to be hard, managing money has to be hard, that you're not good with money, that you will never be good with money because maybe you weren't good with math, or maybe your parents weren't good with money, whatever those paradigms are that we've subscribed to. In our group coaching program, this very small, intimate program, we're going to be working over the course of 8 weeks to really learn and uncover how those thoughts, how those paradigms get developed, and how to release them, and how to find your new identity and start becoming and living in alignment with your new identity so you can actually get the results you want. Okay, so that's just a little spiel about that. Go to wanderwealthy.com/MMB. But anyway, as we talk about this, so obviously there's a lot of thought work that you can do around reprogramming the way that you think about your circumstances, getting yourself in a better state, and therefore making it easier for yourself to utilize these external resources that you've probably already gone out and purchased. But another thing you need to do is start determining what sort of void, what sort of patch you're trying to put on, the void that you're trying to fill in going out and buying these things. And whether you are traditionally employed or you have a side hustle and you just find yourself, maybe you're not buying business related solutions, but you're buying just things. You find yourself impulse spending, or you're a business owner and you're going out and spending a lot of your business's money on all of these business solutions, these courses, coaching, and you still aren't getting where you want to go. And maybe you're blaming some of these third-party sources, and then you go out and you find like, well, okay, someone else has to have the solution, right? So whichever camp you come from, I think this is really important. In so many ways, the way that we feel about our current circumstances perpetuate the thought and the feeling, so therefore the state of unfulfillment or of depression or of sadness or of frustration or of stress. And when we feel these negative feelings, it creates a very empty void inside of us. And again, it defers then to our subconscious mind to go out and fill that void as quickly and efficiently as possible. And one very easy way to do that is to purchase things, is to buy things. So whether you're actually trying to purchase the solution or you're buying things to numb the pain, you are most likely going out there to buy. You might also be using other things instead of necessarily spending money or buying material goods. You might be spending a lot of money and intaking a lot of things like calories. So maybe you're going out and you're filling the void through eating or through drinking. So this also applies there. But you need to start recognizing those trigger points that are, putting you in those positions, putting you in the state where then all of a sudden you have this natural reaction and behavior to fill that void with instant gratification through spending money. And we're going to talk about spending money, although you can also replace through eating, through drinking, through over-exercising, whatever that looks like for you. Okay, but in this case, in this example, we're going to talk about spending money. So you're going out and you're spending money, and again, that's perpetuating in a downward spiral new circumstances that are even worse than what they were previously, or are kind of keeping you stuck and in the same situation. And so you need to start identifying those trigger points, start identifying those feelings, and especially for the business owners out there, this is what I want you to do. But even if you're not a business owner and you start identifying those voids and maybe you get anxious because your situation is technically, from the mathematical perspective, saying, stop spending money. You don't have the money to spend, stop spending money. And that makes you even more depressed and puts you in a downward spiral because now you can't go out and spend money. And then every time you do, you get upset with yourself. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to identify these moments, these thoughts, these feelings, these states that you get in. And of course, you can do some thought work to really change the way that your subconscious mind even instantly reacts to try to fill these voids, because ultimately you wouldn't have these voids because you'd change the way you think. But in the meantime, I want you to make a list of all of the things that you love to spend your time doing, all of the ways you like to spend your time that, I want you to think back the past 10, maybe even 20 years and think, how do I really, what feels really, truly indulgent to me? And yeah, going and getting your nails done and getting a massage and going out and buying and going on shopping sprees, that we have been programmed to believe that those things make us feel good. But truly, real, true self-love typically has nothing to do with that. Instead, it might look like spending the next hour in a very, especially for those business owners out there, quote unquote, unproductive state, and just reading a fiction book. Or maybe you used to knit, or at one point you were learning how to knit, but then you started going, well, this is a waste of time. I need to be focused on making money, or I need to be focused on not spending money, which then leads you to spend money. And so that's not great. But Maybe you had some sort of thing that you enjoyed learning the process, like knitting. For me, I used to play the violin. I love playing old songs that I already know. I also love learning new songs on both the violin and the piano. And I rarely allow myself time to explore that creative angle. For others, maybe you didn't, learn the violin or learn how to knit, but maybe you just loved to color. And you could go out and you could purchase for a very small fee some coloring books and crayons or markers or colored pencils. And you could just start coloring or doing something that I've really loved and enjoyed doing lately is Sudoku, like filling in the number games. You could do crosswords. You could literally do any sort of puzzle and really just get your mind churning. Some other examples might be maybe you used to actually enjoy running or even just going for a walk and listening to an audiobook or going for a walk with friends, but you don't allow yourself the time to do that because you feel all this pressure to make your business work and you think any extra time you have should be focused on that. Or maybe you just love to spend time with your family or your spouse, your significant other, your children. And you love to just spend time with them, watching them grow and learn, or spend time with your partner and watch movies, or even just read books next to each other. I don't even know, whatever that looks like, going for a walk again. Like maybe you really like that, but again, you feel this sense of anxiety and stress around, well, I should be spending my time and money in a more productive way. And what I want you to do, which maybe sounds counterintuitive because this podcast is all about money and how to make more money and how to optimize your money, but maybe for now you need to start doing things that truly make you feel whole. So all these things I just kind of rattled off are all things that I have discovered, as well as in talks with some of my clients have discovered, that are things that make us really, truly feel whole. And it's crazy because maybe it's something you used to do when you were younger, when you didn't have all these other responsibilities, right? And you don't allow yourself to do now because you should be cleaning or like getting stuff done or making money. And I want you to make a list of all these things because most of these things, I would say 90% of these things don't cost any money at all. And of the 10% of the things that do cost money, they cost a small amount. For me, another one is playing cards. I used to love playing cards. Obviously, I like weird numerical games and things that I can do by myself or do with one other person. So playing cards is one that's come up for me, as well as learning chess. So I went out and I bought a chessboard. A deck of cards costs hardly, nothing. It's something small, but it's a way to truly fill your cup instead of thinking that external material thing, purchasing it, the course, the clothes, the brand new trinkets that are going to go on your bookshelf and make your room look so pretty. Sure, there's a time and place for that, but that stuff doesn't actually make you feel a different way. It might temporarily, and we can go into drinking alcohol or, going out and getting a big luxurious meal or some dessert. Like all those things have a time and place. They're great in moderation, but if we are using them to numb or we're using them to fill a void, we know that those rewards, those instant gratifications, those are fleeting. So again, I want you to make a list of 5 to 10 different ways that really truly make you feel like a whole person. Especially for my business owners out there, so often when I ask my business owner clients, how do you like to spend your time? What do you do in your free time? They're always like, well, I like to work on my business. And I'm like, yeah, but what do you like to do as the person that you are? Because we are whole people and we really need to start leaning into that. I think it was last week's episode with Megan Mins. She talks about how she started recognizing that she was building her business for the lifestyle of being able to, have more freedom and be able to do the things she loved. But then you start to realize that you are building a business, you get so caught up in it, and then all of a sudden your business becomes your hobby. And I would like to argue that your business should not be your hobby. Even your side hustle business, if you have a full-time job and your business is your side hustle, it should still not be your hobby. You need things that fill your cup. And so often businesses, they're stressful, they create pressure, and business doesn't have to be hard. And that comes from doing the thought work and the emotional work around changing our internal states about how we feel and think about our current situations and the way that our paradigms are. But if you want to make quick changes now and you want a way to kind of wedge some action planning in that doesn't require you to completely change the way that you think, because completely changing the way that you think does take time, and often it works best if you're working with someone to help you identify those thoughts. So if you want a way to kind of, it's not necessarily you having to completely change the way you think, but it's offering you a new path. So if you can at least do the work of identifying those thoughts and those feelings that get you into a state of searching for immediate instant gratification, if you can start identifying that and then catch yourself. The way that I do this with a lot of my one-on-one clients in personal finance is we have a daily number and it's a budget that they follow. And if they're trying to spend money that is beyond that daily number, that's a really easy way to go, oh, yeah, I'm going to catch myself right now because I realize that, I don't have the money for that today. So I want you to catch yourself, find something, whether it's going to be the budget or something else that can catch you before you go, well, F it, I deserve this, I'm going to get it anyway, right? So before you make that decision, you're going to offer yourself new opportunities, new options of how you can go out and you can spend your time and you can actually fill your cup. Instead of thinking that these, that course, that personal development book, and again, when I talk about reading it as being like one of these indulgent self-care acts, I don't want you to read a book that is supposed to make you a better person or make you better at your business, because that is going to perpetuate the stressful feelings again. Even if you really enjoy that, I really enjoy reading self-help or business development books. I really enjoy taking online courses. I really enjoy working with coaches. I know that there's a time and place for that, but there's also a time and place for you to be you, to explore your interests and your creativity outside of work. So make that list, 5 to 10 things, and then start recognizing when you get into those states where you're searching for that immediate gratification, and catch yourself before you allow yourself to say, F it, I deserve this, I'm getting it anyway, and go, how can I treat myself in a way that I know is actually going to fill me up, that is actually going to make me feel like a whole person? And I can guarantee if you spend an hour of your time reading a fiction novel, knitting, playing your violin or your piano or whatever instrument you love, singing, dancing, exploring your creativity in one of those ways, or playing cards with your partner or with a friend, going for a walk, going for a run, after that hour, you're always going to feel 100 times better. And that's a way that you can wedge yourself into an entirely new state without quite yet, being ready to change all of that thought work and do that work, right? It's going to naturally help you guide yourself into a new state where you're not going to then need that instant gratification. So if you are feeling burnt out or frustrated or putting all this pressure and force on needing your business to work, such that you go out and you try to search for external resources to make it work, we know those don't stick if we're not in the right headspace. So instead, I want you to catch yourself, allow yourself to explore fun and freedom outside of work for an hour or however long it needs to be. And then when you get back to the work, you're going to be in a completely different state. So you've naturally shifted your state in that way. And then eventually you'll start being able to do some of this thought work, some of the mindset work after working with a coach, whether it's me, whether it's someone else. You'll be able to understand and start changing your states in a different way so that, I would still suggest going out and spending time doing the things that make you feel whole and that you love, but also you don't necessarily have to spend time going out and doing something every time you get tempted to buy a new course. Instead, you can instantly change the way that you think and feel about your circumstances. So that's, a podcast episode for another time, but know that this is a great way to do this, to make these changes. Make that list, utilize it, and actually go out and do these things. I want you to do like 1 hour of something you love every day, or at least every other day, because you deserve that. You deserve to take care of yourself in that way. And I'm not saying you don't deserve the massage or getting the nails done or going on a shopping spree or buying the new course or hiring the coach, because there is a time and place for that. But you also deserve to be in a lasting, more positive state. And we can get there by doing these things that make us feel whole. Okay, so that's your challenge. I want you to take it and run with it. And actually, what I want you to do is whatever thing, you can either take a picture of your list, or if you're actually going and doing one of these things, I want you to capture it. I want you to, gather the evidence and share it on Instagram and tag me at Tess_Wicks, because I want to cheer you on and I want to celebrate you too. So I'm going to start doing that as well, because I think it is really important that, especially us business owners who have an online presence, we share all the aspects of our lives. We share how we are whole human beings and how we're not working 24/7. And, I know some people do that, but that's not the business I want to build. And I want to show you guys how I'm building my business so that it can be easy and fun. And I don't have to spend so much time always working and stressing and forcing and pressuring. And I also spend time on the things that I love and enjoy and that truly make me feel whole. So I'm going to do my best to share that. And I would love for you to share it with me. Tag me on Instagram at Tess_Wicks. You can also do it on Facebook if you want, at Wander Wealthy, or post it on the Wander Wealthy page. However you want to get it to me. I would love to see that. So that's my message for you. I hope you guys enjoyed that. And remember, if you want to get in to this exclusive 8-week group coaching program that kicks off on January 21st, make sure that you register and apply for an intake call before January 20th. So I know that that's only a handful of days away, but this is a unique opportunity and you're going to want to join if you're ready to start making that money mindset change work. And you can find out all about what's included by going to wanderwealthy.com/MMB. So M for mom, M for mom, B for boy, okay? It's short for Money Mindset Breakthrough. So you can join the Money Mindset Breakthrough program, and we are going to have a ton of fun and really make 2020 that amazing, financially abundant year. So go out, have an amazing rest of your week, and until next time, I hope you wander wealthy.